comes our fearless producer.
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, awesome to be with you, San Diego, and welcome to a brand new week. If we sound a little more excited than usual, it's because it's a really short week. And we've all got a short week out there, so let's enjoy it. Monday indeed on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, together in our Odyssey Palace studios right here in San Diego, California. This will not be the case tomorrow. I'm back up and back out.
Check.
And, you know, it is a beautiful week, but some things remain the same.
It's not
Scraby
working?
doesn't have Tony's mic turned up.
It is turned up.
Well, not
Hold on, are
well
you
enough.
using the right one?
Oh, I see. I see.
I wasn't saying he was to blame, but I have it up. We do this every... Hold on. Let me take it off the board and then put it right back on the board.
And we're
there
here.
we go. The
Hi,
input
Tony.
didn't take.
Hi, guys.
Oh, yeah. The input didn't take, Tone. Do you buy that one?
I don't know what that
I
means.
don't know
actually.
that anybody should be talking about technical difficulties.
Well, this is the thing is you blame me for all the technical things, and then we get on here, and before the show even starts, you have a glitch.
What do you want me to do?
Well, I would say the same thing to you.
You couldn't
When-
even get your computer to unmute. Which
That's
is
not
maybe
true.
the yes, it is because you couldn't hear
Completely
us.
not true.
You can always tell when there's been some friction prior to the show. This is how
what
this is how
happened.
I've been dealing with for the last 15 minutes.
Well, he's in a bad mood.
I am not.
Look, let me tell you something that I learned a long time ago. If the Dolphins lose a game and my wife and I get into a discussion after that loss, I immediately get blamed for being in a bad mood. So
because the Dolphins lost?
Because they lost.
Okay.
So you're just in a bad mood because the Dolphins lost. Well, I'm going to go ahead with the same theory and place that upon you, Mr. Scraby.
Also
You're just in a bad mood because the 49ers lost again.
They didn't get-
And
they didn't
we better,
just-
Tony, we better get used to it because I think it's going to be happening more and more.
They didn't just lose. They got
We got time to talk about them.
they got what's a good word?
Annihilated.
Annihilated.
Boat
There.
raced.
Boat race.
I
That
mean,
works
there
too.
was. We'll talk about it later, but there was. I knew going into that game, it was
Well, we
not
all
going to
did.
be good.
We all did. It was
Oh, you said it was going to be fine. You were
I
all...
was trying to speak it into existence,
I
Chris.
see, okay.
I mean, I knew from the first drive of the game this one's over. I mean, they went right down the field. Tucker Kraft scored a touchdown.
Evidently,
like
Nick...
knife through hot butter.
Yes, evidently Nick Bosa is the greatest defensive player in the history of football because without him, the 49ers couldn't stop Lincoln High School.
They couldn't. They didn't have one of their corners. They had rookie corners. It was
Okay.
just a
All
bad
right.
day.
Excuse.
Oh,
Oh,
the guy now he's so he says that he doesn't like it when his wife blames him for being in a bad mood when the Dolphins lose. So
yes,
he does
but I'm
it to
doing,
me.
That's right. It makes
Well,
me
no,
feel better.
He's saying that you're the one in the bad mood.
Yes, it
because
makes me
the
feel better because
49ers
I'm
lost.
right. It makes me feel better because I'm on the other side of this argument now. Usually, I'm on your side of this
I'm gonna
argument.
text Lori and make sure
his
she
team
says that to
actually
you.
played well
And I'm
this
being
weekend.
very and usually I'm the one that has to be defensive. This time, you can be defensive.
Can Tyreek Hill actually do something in a game, or is he going to blame his wrist that he's doing before the game? He's doing behind
he's projecting this
before the game.
Hill.
Tyreek Hill's doing
Tyreek Hill's not even here.
As far as I'm
behind the back catches with a hurt wrist. Like, come on.
As far as I'm concerned, I have no say in whether Tyreek Hill catches or the ball ever. And my club is just about winning, just figuring out a way to win, using the people we have to get the job done. I believe.
Listen to this guy.
Hey,
Let
do
me-
they have
I'm
a similar
assuming-
record as the 49ers? Is
It's
the
the
record
same.
Listen
Oh,
to
Now the
this
same.
guy who was crying like 3 weeks ago about his team.
I don't remember ever crying once. I said they were doing terrible. They were. Now they
Scrape, I
seem
don't
to be
think he
doing a
was
little
crying.
better.
I was.
You
Listeners, will you tell me? Because remember, we start with the Dolphins every Monday because they stink.
I think that you're in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad
It
mood.
really feels like you came in a little salty
Not at all.
about the 49ers, and all you have been doing is projecting it at Chris and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I think it's going out on air.
The last thing I want to say is Chris entered the show saying he's happy because it's a short week. I actually like working, so
No. You've been,
the short week.
You actually
nice.
like working. I know you do.
Don't do
You're
that.
more than welcome to come in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and hang out from 2 to 6. Have at it.
You want to hold it down for us?
Have a ball.
Sure.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, no, he's not going to do it.
Of course he's not gonna do
I
it.
have like
Gonna do it.
7 years worth of vacation stored up, so I'm taking it.
Beautiful. You can start now, as far as I'm concerned.
Chris is so funny because
When I get a good line off, you
Chris
just don't
is
like
so
it.
funny.
You
because,
don't like it.
No, I don't care. I mean, this
I
happens
see.
every day, but Chris is so funny. And then when the shoe is on the other foot and Chris is having a bad day, no one's allowed to talk to
Oh,
Chris.
no, I laugh
That
equally.
is so not true. I take all the heat that is directed my way.
Hey, listen, Chris, I can't let him do this, right? Because it was just me and him in here last week, and we definitely had some fun when you weren't here.
It was great.
It was no doubt.
It was the most amazing
It
shows
was no
we've
doubt.
ever done.
So that being said, I definitely don't have any sympathy towards this guy right now. You getting it from him, or are you giving it to him right now?
Well, it's
quite fun.
It is what it is.
Rod wants to start over the show.
No way, man. This is an excellent start as far as I'm concerned. It's a pretty quiet day in sports.
Yeah,
Obviously, we can recap the weekend that was. The NFL weekend finishes up tonight with a game that you will hear on 97.3 The Fan. It is the Har Bowl, I think they call it. Jim Harbaugh against John Harbaugh. I think is it the last time they coached against each other? The Super Bowl?
No, I think they've coached.
Did they get
against-
another one
I
in
think,
there
I think
after
they're
that?
1-1 against each other. Let me confirm
Yeah.
that. But how can we? I was thinking about this over the weekend because I said Harbowl when we left on Friday.
Okay.
It's not the Super Bowl, but can we still call it a Harbowl because the
Sure.
two brothers are coaching, and so
Yeah,
it's like
it's
an event.
It's a
bowl
finale. It's an
game.
event of two brothers with the
Yes.
same last name. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
I think it's fair, and should be a good game. I mean, the Ravens are 7-4, the Chargers are 7-3.
Ravens
and
need this too.
The Ravens really do need this as they try to kind of solidify playoff positioning and keep up with the Steelers, who gave them a little opening by losing that Thursday night snow game to the Cleveland Browns. So that is coming up. We will have it for you. All of you Charger fans can rejoice in the fact that your team is on Monday Night Football. And I know that there's many of you that when I say that, say, well, we hate the Chargers. What do you mean? You should never talk about the Chargers. We hate them. We never want to hear their name again. I don't disagree with those who feel that way, but I sense that there's still a lot of either closet Charger fans that live in San Diego or ones that just have come out of the closet and say, you know what, I do. I still root for the Chargers. Because I run into those people all the time. And I think the fact that they're doing well gives people even more reason
Let me
to
update
say,
real quick. John Harbaugh is 2-0 against Jim. Beat him in
Yeah,
2011.
Jim's never won.
Also in the Super Bowl.
all right, so the Super Bowl was the last meeting
Yeah,
then.
it was.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's coming up tonight. College football, it was a weekend of craziness and upsets, and a lot of the top teams went down. For the fans of the SEC, is Alabama still going to be led into the playoff with 3 losses? Probably. Ole Miss is going to now have to try to get in with 3 losses. It was a bad week for Colorado. Slipped out of contention for the Big 12 championship.
Evil laugh over here.
I was at my niece's birthday party, and there was some friendly wagering going on between my brother and his friends because they were so sure that Colorado was going to win. And then I texted my brother and I just chuckled.
Kansas just was running it right down their throat.
500 yards worth.
They could do nothing to stop it.
No, they scored every time they had the ball.
Yeah.
Every single time they had the ball. So I thought Dion,
His message afterwards
hit
was
the right note.
right on point.
It was right there for us to take. We fumbled it. It's on us. And to me, that's what you got to do. You got to take accountability. And Colorado let it get away. The good news for any of us around here, the fact that Colorado is now very unlikely to make the Big 12 championship game does increase the chances of them coming to the Holiday Bowl. I'm not saying they're coming. I don't think the Holiday Bowl has the number 1 selection there, and chances are Colorado's going to be in demand. But had they gone to the Big 12 championship, no way the Holiday Bowl can get them. Now there's a outside shot
Yeah.
that they could come. So that is the good news on that. It's hard. You'd have to really, really try to find something positive to say about the Aztecs after that game on Saturday. They get up, 13-0, and then Utah State reels off 41 straight points on them. We had Sean Lewis on a month ago. I think they were 3-3 at the time, Tony. And one of the things we were talking to him about was the fact that the team was playing better and getting better and improving. And I remember him precisely saying, I appreciate you saying that because that is really what we're all about, getting better, getting better. Now, the coaches may see stuff that's better right now,
Right.
but the fans don't see anything close to that. That's 5 straight losses, and each one seems to get a little worse than the last. So, they got one last chance against Air Force this weekend, but, I feel bad for San Diego State. Their football, I know that, Sean Lewis wanted to hit the ground running. It has not happened, and I don't know any other way to couch it.
Yeah, the last 3 in particular have been
not good.
Yeah, it was you could kind of push aside the first one, but the last 2 in particular were tough, and it's as it often the time is, the coaches and staff see that improvement that we can't, because ultimately we are, as spectators, are here for wins and losses, and it hasn't gone the Aztecs' way from that standpoint.
No, there's no other way. You can't dress up that pig at the moment. 3-8, not the way that San Diego State football wanted to finish up. Basketball plays Creighton, I believe, tomorrow
yeah.
in Las
11
Vegas. Last time they played Creighton, the referee at the end of the game gave the washout signal, meaning the game was over. And just like that, Ian Eagle said those words that still ring in my ears. For the first time ever, San Diego State is going to the Final Four. That was the last time they played Creighton.
You gotta find nothing.
A couple of years
You
ago.
gotta find something else to look forward to, Chris. I'm sorry.
Why? I can't enjoy something that happened. What is there a time limit on how long I can enjoy something?
Season to season.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. The 94 49ers who blew out the Chargers in the Super Bowl, you don't find any happiness in that because it happened, oh my God, 30 years ago.
No, it's the greatest year of my life. I said
There
it on
you
Friday.
have it. All right. So it's it has to fit your narrative.
It does.
In order for it to work.
It does.
So
It does.
we appreciate that.
There's no lies there. He's very honest about that. He's
I'm aware of it.
Nate says, "Don't tell Chris how to fan." I think one of the most straight to my feels comment is, "Don't tell me how to fan."
Yeah.
I don't know why that bothers me, but it does.
Don't tell Chris how to fan.
Chris was telling me how to fan all before the show.
How so? What? I don't remember that.
And here we go now. He's coming up with stuff.
You guys are gaslighting me on the air for the second time in the same segment.
Wait, real quick. When was he doing that?
Remember when he was in the back just giving me all that stuff about the 49ers, just trying to razz me, trying to do all that?
I don't remember that.
Did I bring up anything about the 49ers in the
my
back? We
goodness.
talked.
You literally just made that up, Scraven.
I did not.
Wow.
Funny
I
how,
think we should go to break because
funny how Tony and I are seeing the same thing. Speaking of college basketball.
Gaslighters gaslight together.
Speaking of college I'm going to try to go on. Speaking of college basketball, the Maui Invitational, unbelievable game right now. They're down to the final 2 seconds of overtime. Memphis is on the verge of knocking off
wasn't we just talking
the
about Penny
defending
Hardaway
champs
that long
UConn.
ago?
Yeah, they beat USF last week.
That's what it
did.
was.
And
yeah.
USF was actually favored over
Yeah,
them.
They were.
But this guy, oh my goodness,
Oh,
no.
I thought that was going.
They got a
in.
last ditch 3 up there, but it came up short. Memphis holds on. It's over. They beat UConn 99-97. I want to see what Danny Hurley does.
Did Danny
in
Hurley
defeat.
did he get ejected?
Yeah,
He was
there he is.
losing his mind 3 minutes into the game.
He must have got ejected because he wasn't on the bench when they.
No,
just
he wasn't. He
started
got
shaking
a technical in overtime, and those 2 free throws turned out to be, I think, the difference in the game. Yeah, Hurley is he's a great coach, but he needs to keep a little better track on his emotions. I think he helped them lose that game. It's over just now. Memphis beats UConn. All right, Gwynn and Chris is underway. We're just getting started. That was kind of a, who knows where we're going from here? Let's just put it that way after that segment. Tony will bring us back on 97.3 The Fan.
Odd sounds and
Matt Scraby. It's been a little feisty in here to begin, and
Shut up, Scraby.
Scraby, you have something
We're
to say?
still fighting in the commercial break.
I tell you one thing, the way the studio is laid out, somebody didn't really know it, I don't think, when they put it together the way it is, but they were smart.
Yeah.
Because Scraby and I are just not anywhere close to each other.
It makes no sense.
We have no way. We'd have to really go out of our way.
I can even put the screen up so I can't see them. Like
Yeah,
this.
right.
There we
I
go.
know. We don't have to see each
There
other.
we go.
We certainly can't reach each other. So, we can just bicker and go on.
Here's
and
what
on.
I'll say, Chris. I would like to start over.
Nah.
This is how this guy, Tony knows that he's been like this all day.
He said, yeah.
Here's the thing that's the problem is I have to travel, and tomorrow I will call in, and once again somehow the equipment won't work, and you'll be all in your feelings and mad at me again. So I'm just preparing for that. I already know that's a problem tomorrow.
I do predict, Scrape, that somehow his equipment won't work,
Yeah,
and it will get you fired up.
and you'll get all angry.
I'm not saying that you don't deserve to be get fired up, but I'm just saying I have a feeling that it's going to be something like that.
I had a big discussion with my wife, and you can ask her about this while you're calling her about the dolphin comment. Ask her if I had a discussion with her this weekend about the fact, and we're going back to the equipment thing last week, because it was a major issue. But you even went so far as to try to joke around how you signed me up for a class so that I could learn how to work this stuff. And I still maintain and will continue to maintain that I set it up exactly the way it was designed to be set.
This is the problem.
That is the problem, because that's and what she said is, all right, when you get down to tomorrow, FaceTime him and have him let him watch you set it up so that he can tell you what you're doing wrong. Because I'm telling her, and I'm going to tell you, that I'm not setting it up wrong. I'm setting it up exactly how it's supposed to be set up. The fact it didn't work, who knows?
Equipment malfunction.
Number
It's
one, I
possible.
was very calm last week. I think I did a really good job.
Well, apparently you did a good job with me. But Tony, I think, saw some of the runoff.
Tony, I was being good last
Let's
week.
keep it a buck. You did great,
Thank you.
but
I could have been much angrier.
if your face turns red and it comes from the neck up, right? Usually it gets the whole face. You did a good job of stopping the red, like right here at your chin. So you didn't quite get there, which was a positive step for you.
I think
But you were definitely annoyed.
I was annoyed.
And you were
because-
annoyed at me. To me, you
I
should have been
wasn't. What did I
annoyed
say?
at the equipment. That's different.
He did say that he wasn't annoyed with you.
Okay.
He was
All
just
right,
annoyed.
fair
I'm
enough.
just annoyed when you say it's not your fault, even though the one thing that didn't work was you could not hear us, which means on your end, the computer is muted somewhere. I went through the entire computer. I couldn't find it, but somewhere in your computer, it mutes it. So you
I
can't hear
understand that, but you had every opportunity to fix it, as did I, and you were unable to discover it as well because you took over my computer. So I'm
think
getting the
it's the
blame for this,
issue.
but you had the same issue.
I think there's an issue
So
also
maybe you
in the
should go
computer
with
that
me
you're
to that
using.
class.
You're using.
Well, that's equipment.
That's a
equipment failure.
A whole nother
Equipment
issue right
failure.
It's a laptop that didn't even come with a webcam. That's how old it is.
Okay.
That's
Tony
all right.
wants us to move on.
Let's
Yes,
move on.
we can.
We've let you guys talk that out. Now let's talk some more sports. Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. I find some irony in the fact that for about, a year, 2 years now, we've had heavy Aaron Rodgers coverage. From the time that he was a free agent to the time he signed as a Jet to the time he became a Jet.
For the first time, he used the facility's restroom,
Right.
and on and on and on.
We've been getting a lot of that. And in only 2 years, they already want to get rid of him.
Oh, the Jets do.
The Jets do.
Oh, yeah, there's no question they're going to get rid of him.
That is the reports that Woody Johnson is ready to cut bait, although Aaron has made his feelings known on terms of playing
He'd be
next
happy
year.
to play there, yes.
It doesn't seem like the two are going to be doing it together.
Well, I mean, they
next
got
year.
rid of the general manager. They got rid of the coach. Aaron Rodgers is next.
And listen, this is what we see a lot of times with these older quarterbacks or quarterbacks that they don't want to hurt. We just watched it with Daniel Jones. You know, they basically moved him from 1 to 3 and then cut him.
No, wait. They got him to number 4. Then they cut him.
I'm sorry. He went from 1 to 4,
Yes,
and then they
went
cut
to
him.
4.
They slashed him at that point.
Yes.
But they didn't want him to keep playing for fear of injury. Now, apparently, Aaron Rodgers is banged up right now, at least according to Yahoo Sports. But he has refused to do any scans with the team because he knows that they're looking for a way to get him off the field.
Got it.
And so I just find this to be the irony in that they chased him the way they did, basically hired folks and players to get him there. And not only 2 years later, they are now trying to find a way to get rid of him.
It's really 1 year later, Tony, when you think about it,
Yeah, 'cause
because
he didn't
last
play
year was
last year.
was a wash, right? He didn't play at all. The coach, or the interim coach,
Jeff Ulbrich.
Jeff, thank you, says you'd have to ask him if he's healthy, fully healthy. But at least I will say this: he's better off today than he has been of late. So, that is kind of indicating that the coach feels that Rodgers has not been fully healthy. All I know is what I see, Tony, because we don't know the injury status of Aaron Rodgers, and we probably will never know the full truth. But he just doesn't look anywhere close to what he used to be. I didn't expect him to be as good as he was in his heyday, but he doesn't look like a winning quarterback right now. Now, maybe this is because of the team around him, but sure seems like they have a lot of weapons on that offense. I'm not quite exact. They finally got rid of the Nathaniel Hackett, so somebody could call the right play for him.
I do think there's. Maybe we forgot about it because he healed. He seemingly healed so fast. He is a year removed from slashing his Achilles.
Yeah,
we
it's
don't.
true.
We don't expect some of our best athletes to come back the next year and just be the same. So I do agree. He looks old. I don't know if that's because of the Achilles and him returning. I'm not saying he doesn't look that crazy running. He looks pretty much normal, but I mean, at 40-some years old, you slash your Achilles.
Yeah.
There's got to be some ramifications.
But as you say, and it's one of my favorite lines that you say,
Father Time
undefeated, and Aaron Rodgers is going to turn 41 today.
Yeah, I mean, Father Time
or next Monday, but he turns 41. I mean,
Father Time seems to be winning that matchup right
yes,
now.
Father Time has the lead.
Yeah.
and it has a big lead at the moment.
Right
Do you
now.
guys think that it's changed because of how much media coverage there is, social media, all of that, where you bring in a guy that you kind of know maybe might disrupt the locker room a little bit? Do you think it's changed from like the 80s to now? Like it was easier to bring in a guy who was maybe a locker room quote-unquote cancer because if he plays well, then his players are fine with it. But now you got reporters sticking there asking questions all the time about Aaron Rodgers. Do you think it's more difficult now to bring in a suspect character guy?
Did I miss something? Was Aaron Rodgers known as a clubhouse cancer?
You take me too literally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got
No, Aaron Rodgers was known as a
point.
guy who gets what he wants no matter what.
I see your point. Again, I think we are just so short-sighted in our thinking. I mean, he was playing in Green Bay. He went from Green Bay to New York City, New Jersey, New York, same media market, right? That's a big deal. And he's not playing as well. So I mean, like, you throw all that in the gumbo pot, you're gonna get a little bit of what we've been getting from.
That was me
Mr.
throwing
Rodgers.
in the gumbo pot.
Is that what you?
The only thing I'll finish up with is his QBR rating, which is how they rate these guys, has him in the same vicinity ranking-wise as guys like Justin Fields and Bo Nix and Caleb Williams and Daniel Jones and Gardner Minshew.
Oh, it keeps getting worse.
And that's just not the kind of company Aaron Rodgers usually keeps.
You're right.
Right?
You can't argue that.
No.
You can't argue that at all.
So,
all right, let's slide away, get to break. When we come back, we got a good, bad,
and 49ers.
I did email Chris telling him that the whole ugly section is the 49ers. So
right here on Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Woods on the
Brand new segment for you right now. You're the first to hear it. The good, the bad, and the 49ers. It's coming up.
I was like,
Just
what is
a
he
moment.
talking about?
While you're listening to 97.3 The Fan, you can always see what you missed. Click on Listen on Demand. If you missed a guest, a feature, or Scraby and I yelling at each other, if it happened earlier, we've got you covered. Download the free Odyssey app, search 97.3 The Fan, and tap earlier today to get started. I also wanted to mention, I don't know that we've thrown this out there, but got Adam pointed this out to me last week, and I meant to bring it up because I like this. Evidently, there's a new messaging part of the Odyssey
I saw
app.
that.
Yes.
We should be a little more clear when we say this to how exactly how it works. But you listening out there can go on the Odyssey app, and there's a way to send us a comment, a message, something that's on your mind during the show.
Yes.
Is that correct? Or that is, I'm pretty sure that's how this goes.
I actually haven't. That is how it goes. That is
Okay.
how it goes.
So we'll give you a little more further information on that because we don't always get to a lot of phone calls, but this way we can hear from you from time to
You're
time.
hilarious, by the way.
Why?
I just think you're funny.
Why
man.
is he mad that I brought
I'm
that
not
up?
mad.
He's not mad.
Oh.
Why is everybody saying? Oh,
I don't know.
real
I'm a little
quick.
touchy.
I know this is not in the Big Five.
Good.
The Rays have the MLB's
I hate
altered.
you for saying that.
MLB altered the Rays' schedule. Listen to this: 69 out of the last 103 games will be on the road for the Rays. That is atrocious.
Did you see this?
Wow.
How about 47 of their first 59 are at home
Where? Oh, that's going to be at the Tampa.
at this
facility.
Tampa Bay Steinbrenner Field. They'll play 47 games at home, 12 on the road
to start.
to start the season.
Wow.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I'm just. By the way, back to your app thing.
Thank you.
I'm just messing with it. Yeah, you can go to 97.3 The Fan on Odyssey, and you can. It says at the top near the logo, send a voice message. You click that, and then you can send it.
Yeah, and Scraby will monitor some of those, and you never know.
Yeah, I can't wait to get another thing on my plate.
Is it?
All right, I'll monitor those.
I'm just
But
kidding.
would you like me to monitor those? Because I'll lose them into oblivion
I know,
somewhere.
I know. I say I want people to help, but then when people ask if they can help, I say no.
That's 100% true.
I'm my mom.
Is it Ulbrich or Ulbrich?
Ulbrich?
Ulbrich.
Yeah, former 49er.
He says that Aaron Rodgers will absolutely start this next
Thank
couple
goodness
weeks,
for
so.
that.
I have a feeling. I don't hold me to this, but I won't be surprised if there's some type of report at the end of this that Ulbrich is more on Aaron Rodgers' side on this. Like he's not going to bench him. He's not going to get that job.
No,
after
Ulbrich
this.
might as well start looking for a job.
He can do whatever it is he wants to do at this point.
He
so.
ought to call Matt Eberflus and see what's available out there. I don't know what
Both
the
of them
Bears
are going to be competing for the same job.
Probably. All right, speaking of the National Football League, let's recap what happened in week 12. The good, the bad. It's actually the good, the bad, and the ugly, but Scraby did campaign
I did.
to have the 49ers cover the entire ugly segment today. Before we get to that, though, how about Saquon Barkley last night? My goodness, what a performance. First player in 15 years to have two 70-yard-plus touchdown runs. 15 years.
Seems crazy, but then you think that is a lot.
It's a lot, and I don't
crazy.
think the Rams touched him on either one.
Not a one.
Oh,
Not even
yeah.
a fingernail.
He was
touched
right
it.
through the line.
Here's one of them.
Barkley behind Hurts. Motion to the near side of the field. This time it goes to Barkley up the middle, across the 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Touchdown! Saquon Barkley, 70 yards.
Shot out of a cannon.
Merrill Reese still able to see that Barkley had a touchdown.
When you watch
He
him,
seemed so surprised. I'm like, what are you surprised about?
when
He
you
was 30
sync up
yards
the
ahead of the
video
pack.
with it, you can tell he's a little bit behind on the yard markers because he
Yeah.
goes from like the 20 to the goal line real quick.
Yeah. Adrian Peterson still has the record, 296. But this was 255.
I tell you
Monster night.
what. I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard his name enough, but this dude needs to be talked about MVP.
They're all
well.
saying it now.
Yeah, okay.
They're all
Okay.
saying it
Yeah.
now. They weren't saying it before. It was all Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, etc., but Barkley is now in the conversation. Eagles over the Rams, 37-20. Also in the good category, might as well just put these guys there and leave them there. The Detroit Lions. Upsets, drama all around them in the NFL, but not in the Lions game yesterday. They just keep on rolling, and yesterday's victim was the Indianapolis Colts.
Jared looking out over that defense now. He leans in. There's the snap. Hands to Montgomery. Bounces left. Finds the angle. Spinning. End zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Jamar Gibbs had the other 2 touchdowns. Got a taunting. Jameer, thank you. Got a taunting violation on one of them. I don't know what he did, honestly.
He got by. He turned the corner, got to like the 3, and basically
gave the guy a little
went
look
backwards into the end zone, just kind of like taunting my man. I will say this: that is a sneaky power speed combo with Montgomery and Gibbs.
It's good.
Montgomery is a good back, and Gibbs is electric. And then you got the wide receivers. That's a tough team right there.
Yeah, I think so. 10-1. They completely shut down the Colts
Call
yesterday.
me when they play someone.
Here we go with this all. The thing that I was going to say to you about that is your team is not good enough to even worry about the Lions at this point.
I know.
I hate to tell you.
I'm with you. I said it on Friday, I think.
The final good had to be that snow game Thursday night. A lot of fun to watch it. I gotta love the new technology. I know I'm not a good technology guy, but
you like this?
To put the yard markers down, so even though it's terribly snowy, you can see what yard they're on.
But it was
like
on
that.
top of the players. Which
a little bit. That was a little hard.
Legs off.
Yeah,
and
if you're gonna put it on the field,
that part was. They might need to work that out a little bit more.
They can get that yellow line, but they can't get the rest of the lines.
Yeah,
it's just reference. It's just
it is.
even with the yellow line, sometimes
it just cut through
every now and again.
It definitely will cut through somebody.
Yeah, there's nothing like being in a warm room somewhere with a fire going and watching those guys out in the snow.
No doubt.
Cleveland got the win over Pittsburgh.
This is the game from the 35, 6 seconds left. Browns up 5, defend this and beat the Steelers. Russell Wilson to throw, back to throw, has time, hit as he throws, ball up into the air towards the end zone, knock it down, jump ball, incomplete! Browns win!
I love how he said
was
Russell.
like at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
I think that's Andrew Siciliano.
They said Russell Wilson had time on that play. They showed the replay. He got destroyed when he threw that ball. And meanwhile, they didn't get this in the call, but George Pickens was wrestling with the cornerback out the back of the end zone while all that was going on. Browns beat the Steelers 24-17. Into the bad we go. The Dallas Cowboys. I know Cowboy fans are probably pretty happy today because you got to win, but the bad news is maybe that keeps Mike McCarthy around longer. I don't know that that's great. Dallas gives up an 86-yard touchdown pass with 20 seconds to play. You talk about no one laid a hand on Terry McLaurin either. You're really? Who gives up an 86-yard weaving touchdown run to tie the game except for the commander kicker missed the point after?
It's crazy.
And Dallas ended up winning.
If I was watching the game, I watched the kick return, and it was bananas.
Yes, it was.
But as soon as my man, I was like, low snap. Oh, this is not good.
Not good.
The holder did a great job of getting it up.
Yeah.
And you could just. My favorite part when a kicker misses a kick, especially that one, is to watch his immediate reaction.
Like, oh,
he looked down at the holder
like it was that.
And then he caught himself and was like,
Nah, that's on me. Yeah.
That's a shankopotamus right there.
Here's the crazy thing about this game. There were 31 points scored in the last 3 minutes, including this.
And now Turpin fields the kick. Deep dances and running it out. Left to the 30, to the 40, to midfield. Turpin's got the Jets going. 10-5. Touchdown.
He totally undersold the move that broke
He
this
didn't
whole
even
thing
say he
open.
did the move. He did a great spinorama.
The fake
the
spin.
spin set up everything.
Everybody went to the right. He went to the left.
And it wasn't like a spin. It was just a spin so that he could basically stop on a dime.
Looked like he was just doing it for the hell of it, but it worked out perfectly. Dallas did get the win, 34-26. Also bad, the first place Houston Texans. They blow it at home against Tennessee of all teams yesterday. Texans were in a position to tie it, but Kaimi Fairburn missed the old chip shot in the waning seconds. And the Titans scored the game winner, Chig Okonkwo, a 70-yard TD catch. The Titans also got this.
Levis gives quick hitter. Pollard up the middle. Pollard to the 5. Pollard to the end zone. Touchdown, Titans!
Wow.
I got to tell you, that guy's call is one of my favorites in the league. We just haven't heard it a lot. Yeah, that's him too. Tennessee upsets Houston 32-27. Finally in the bad category, the Vikings. They couldn't handle an onside kick. They blew an 11-point lead in the final 30 seconds to the Bears, but the Bears outworst them. They had another field goal blocked.
Outworst them.
Yeah, they couldn't get anything going in OT, so Minnesota was able to drive down and win on the road for the third straight week.
This is a 29-yard field goal between the hash marks to win it. Snap spot. Romo! Yes!
Paul Allen.
Is
my
it
guy.
just me, or are we seeing more blocks this year? I feel like than we've seen
More
in the
blocks
past
and more
year?
missed kicks.
I mean,
The blocks are
weren't
definitely
we-
coming up more
weren't
often.
we just saying how automatic kickers were?
About
like
2.5 weeks ago, we said that hasn't been the case lately.
No.
I'm a little bitter complainer here, but why my guy Kevin O'Connell can't design a play to get Justin Jefferson open is beyond me.
The guy's 9-2. I don't think he cares.
I guess not. And Tony said Justin Jefferson doesn't seem to care either. He's like, don't throw it to me. I'm triple covered. But throw it to him because he's on a lot of fantasy teams, including
I
mine.
mean, the alternative, Chris, is he complaining after a win that he didn't get the ball. And
Fair enough,
would
and
be
he wouldn't
looking
sound
at-
too good there
Doesn't
either.
look good.
I guarantee a guy like Justin Jefferson wants a few more throws.
I'm sure he's saying those
Yeah.
things, just not when the camera's
Yes, he would like a few more throws. All right, ugly we go. And we did start with the 49ers, who, as Scraby said, were bad from the beginning in Green Bay.
Love in the shotgun, has a setback to his right. That's Wilson. Two receivers left. Off that stack. Reed in motion. Snap to Love. Looking left. Looks right. Throws right side. And it is caught for a touchdown. Rambling in traffic. Wow.
I believe it wasn't Robert Kraft,
Tucker.
the tight end, Tucker Kraft. Yes.
No, Robert Kraft is
Yes, that would be
an
something.
owner.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft catching a
way the
touchdown would be a hilarious thing to see.
The way the 49ers are playing, I don't know. Robert might be able to get open these days.
Oh, guys.
All
I
right.
feel like
It was the worst loss in 6 years, so let's just put that in there.
I feel like
Where do we
the
go?
lost season is creeping in.
It's just now creeping in?
But the only reason I'm not fully into the lost season bandwagon is because they're right there in the division.
The division is bad.
They're only a game behind.
I should say this. I think this is the perfect way to describe the NFC West. There are no good teams and there are no bad teams.
There's a bunch of average,
There's
middling
just
teams.
right in the middle.
I don't know. 49ers did not look good yesterday.
No, and I will say this.
Honestly, they did
I will
not.
say this. They're doing things that they haven't done in years. I mean, Debo almost returns a kick out of the to start the second half. They have a holding penalty. Everything comes back because of penalties. Trent Williams complained about his stupid contract before the year, gets hurt for like the 90th time in his 49ers career. I wish people would stop complaining about their contracts and focus on football. You guys don't really want to know what I feel.
It sounds like
Well, I'm just leaving it open for you to
It
add
sounds like-
something to
'cause
that
you know
if
it
you
will
care
happen.
to.
sounds like tears of a fan that is watching some losing football.
It's been bad. It's been really bad.
Welcome to the rest of our world. You know,
I
other teams lose
I know
games
I know
a lot.
This might be a little foreign to
Yes,
you,
a little
but-
foreign
And
to the
Debo?
49ers.
T.O. was right. Terrell Owens said about Debo last week, because Debo came out and said this has been the worst, most frustrating year of his career. And T.O. said, why don't you focus on the game instead of what you wear before the game? And I agree with that. Debo let one go right through his hands.
Or what the kicker is doing.
Or,
Debo.
yeah, I guess the kicker,
Stop
too.
worrying about
he
him.
He let one go right through his hands.
I don't think he let it go through his hand. He missed it.
I think deep down inside he's like, Ayuk's making more money. And let it go through his hands.
All right. 49ers fall to the pack 38-10. Next up at Buffalo. 5-7.
See, that's the thing, though. I could see them winning that game, but I think that's my 49er fandom talking.
Also in the ugly category, the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they're 10-1, but they have won ugly again. They win it on the final play in Carolina, of all places. This is Kansas City's 8th one-score victory of the season. Now, maybe that makes them good because they always find a way, but at some point it's got to catch up with them, doesn't it? Chiefs have won 4 games this year on the final play. This time, Mahomes, a 33-yard scramble to set it all up. And here was the win.
Winchester will snap. Will Carolina call timeout? Placement is down. Schrader's kick is up. Schrader's kick is good! 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 Spencer Schrader on a 31-yard field goal, and the Chiefs walk it off.
I don't know how excited you should be to walk off Carolina, but they did it. It's better than losing.
The Patrick Mahomes long run at the end of the game might be the most annoying thing for me to watch, just because he's so good at it.
I thought of you because he looked like he was going to go out of bounds again, then planted his foot and went down another 20 yards.
I thought about Chris immediately because he was on that last time this happened.
Yep.
But I thought the same thing. He took off like he was going, put his foot in the ground, and it right up the field.
He's going to get at it.
As a quarterback, once he takes off as a runner, you got to hit him.
You better hit him.
If he's not attempting to start his slide, you got to hit him.
But you know that they're going to call a penalty.
Not if he's not attempting to slide. There was no attempt to go to slide. He put his foot down like he was a running back and went up the field.
There's going to be someone that's going to hit him.
Yeah.
They're going to call the 15 yards, and no one's going to ever hit him again.
Hey, as long as he's
well,
not sliding.
ask the Cincinnati Bengal guy. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I'm sorry, in the championship.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Hit
right.
him a couple of yards out of bounds, and it cost the Bengals.
That's true.
Finally, in the ugly category, you can't do it without mentioning the Giants. Man, were they bad. The best shot of the day was about 60,000 Giant fans streaming to the exits in the third quarter as they were down 30-0 to Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield and teammates frolicked. I don't know if you have time for it.
Yeah, we do.
Here's the snap. Second down and goal. Bucks have 2 timeouts. Running the ball with Baker Mayfield. He fakes the pass. Runs to his left. To the one. Touchdown. Baker Mayfield put on a cape and flew into the end zone.
He did the Tommy DeVito celebration.
He got over, and the Bucks won 30-7. All right, good, bad, ugly. Thank you, Scraby. Good highlights. More Gwynn and Chris. Daily Gambit kicks off hour number 2.
Cello, Matt Scraby.
I believe that. You may be hitting the wrong microphone button. We started the show with blaming me for this. But I had the one you're hitting up.
I am so staying out of this.
He is. Look at him. He knows. He did it. He knows. Just stay with that one. We'll use that one.
This mic wasn't. Why did we switch to this mic?
I don't know. But that's number 5, and you're hitting number 4. So.
Well, I want to be on 4, so I'm gonna move this mic away.
Okay.
Now I'm here.
There we go.
The game show music in the background is fantastic.
I just noticed this too when we came back. I was like, we spent 5 minutes blaming me for this.
I apologize, Scraby. All right, Daily Gambit. I think went poorly for me as we went to break over the weekend.
No good.
And I feel like it didn't go very well. There's a few I can see already that didn't go well. Some of my haterism on some of these teams actually worked in my benefit, so we'll see how it goes. Scraby, I believe you will tell us how. What's the
Eliminator Challenge?
The Eliminator Challenge. We're down to 4.
We do have some news, guys.
There can't possibly be anybody left after yesterday.
We do have some news, guys.
All right. Well, let's wait no longer. Let's hop to the Daily Gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Well, nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. All right, we had 4 left in the Eliminator Challenge. And again, I have looked all over this website to try and find out who the people are that are still left, and I can't find it. So if you are still in this thing, please contact me because, guys, we are down to our final 2.
Really, 2 people were eliminated this weekend.
2 people were eliminated on Thursday, actually.
Oh, they both took the Steelers.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
2 people took the Bucks yesterday, which was a good pick. So
those 2 are still alive. Pretty good, man, to make it through 12 weeks.
That's really good.
Nice job.
It's tough to put your longevity on a. What is that? An AFC? What is it? What division is that?
Oh, AFC North.
AFC North.
An AFC snow game.
Those always are
slobber knockers.
But maybe they didn't have anybody else.
That might be true too.
I mean, you get to week 12, you've pretty much always used the
That's
good
true.
teams.
You've used everybody pretty much. Good point.
But if you are still in it, one of the 2.
Come on, the 2 of you need to come out. We need to hear who the 2 are left.
Yes, because this is big stuff. You're
That's
about to be
impressive.
If you win one of the 2 of you, you will get a 97.3 The Fan championship belt.
The belt.
The champ.
The champ is here.
Is somewhere out there.
Are out there?
Yes. But yeah, 2 left. So there we go. Oh yeah, still me.
This is your thing.
Still
I was like putting up my feet. Hawks on Friday night against the Bulls. Hawks were -1.5 on the spread. We all chose the Bulls, and we were correct.
Yeah.
Doubles. 136-122 for a team that wasn't picked to win like more than 3 games. They score a lot of points, Chris.
Wow.
They also give up a lot. The following night they lost to, I want to say, Memphis. They gave up 140 points for the 3rd time in the last 4 games.
Okay, there you go.
The only game they didn't give up was 140 was the one we had.
Tony, I wasn't saying that to make fun of the Bulls.
Good.
I was saying
No,
that because,
you're right.
because the Bulls are playing better than I think people
Yeah, but they're
thought.
really not. I think it sounds like it on our show.
I
but-
thought, I think it was a little slick comment. You said 3 wins. Like, we were never picked to win 3. I mean, you went the lowest number possible.
Chris, wasn't it like 20 wins, 22 wins?
It sounds a little more respectable than 3.
I said 3 for the impact.
Right now they're 7 and
which felt like a little underneath jab.
They're 7 and 11 right now, so I'm not really ready to make parade plans for the Bulls.
Next game, I was really hoping for this game to be a good one. Ohio State and Indiana. We all chose.
We
the
all
Hoosiers.
wanted this to be good. Yeah,
Ohio
it didn't
State
happen.
11-point favorites. Ohio State is a machine. They win 38-15.
Indiana hung in there for about a quarter and a half,
Till that
but
kick
once
return.
the punt, the punter dropped a punt on the 1 yard line, and
Yeah.
then the kick return, and then
Yeah,
it
you
got
can't do
way
that.
out of control. But we all said at the time we were betting with our hearts.
Yes, we
Don't
were.
ever do it.
We did.
Don't ever do it.
I think, and we were betting on our hearts for the sake, honestly, for that playoff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
you need these teams to have at least good showings. And I don't know that this past weekend was good for any of that.
Yeah, I
quite
think Indiana's
frankly.
still going to get in the playoff, but no one's going to expect them now to do anything.
They especially if they get it, better have a better performance than what they showed against Ohio State.
I think they only gained about 5 yards in the whole game. It
wasn't
much.
pretty.
Yeah.
Colorado, they were 3-point favorites over Kansas. They played this at Arrowhead Stadium. It's weird nowadays when you see, because every school has their logo on the field. It's weird when you see a college team playing on a pro field and it's all the pro logos. But Colorado was favored by 3 points in this one. Chris was the only one to choose Kansas. Can't believe I didn't. Tony and I chose Colorado. Kansas wins 37-21. Travis Hunter strengthened his Heisman candidacy.
Nice pose after the second touchdown.
Did he hit it twice?
He had 2 touchdowns, and the second one he did the pose.
did the
I
pose,
think
second one.
I think he only did it once, the pose. But I don't know. Colorado better finish with nothing but wins because he can't get the Heisman with.
That's true.
Yeah,
4 or 5
I
losses.
personally don't think he helped himself because his
Right,
team
because
lost.
the team and
ultimately.
he plays defense too, and they got run over on defense.
He
It's going to be
I
an
mean,
interesting vote just because of how he plays defense, too.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to be interesting. But I do think my man from Boise, though, certainly strengthened his case.
Oh, he had another monster game.
He made his case in a big way.
And they won.
Stepped on somebody's face mask on one of those as he just trucked the dude.
They don't tackle him.
No.
He gets 90% of his yards are after contact. He's impressive.
And in this time of year,
Mr. Genty.
I imagine tackling a guy like that is the last thing you want to do.
Derrick Henry,
probably like
he
tackling
looks a little-
Saquon right now.
He looks a little Derrick Henry like that guy.
Notre Dame and Army.
There's another one I bet with my heart.
Yes, Notre Dame was 14-point favorites in this
We
one.
all
They played
did.
this one at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I feel like playing in baseball stadiums is dangerous because there's not much room for them
The
to
baseball
run out.
stadiums now are made to be just baseball stadiums.
They don't want football in there. And then they try to
then they're
pigeonhole
like,
it in.
on second thought, we can make a lot of money if we start having these games here. Let's go ahead and find a way to squeeze
I
it.
mean, the Holiday Bowl did it for what, a year at the
They
Petco?
tried to do 2, but one team didn't show up.
One time the team didn't show up. I think they did do 2 games.
I hope you're listening, Dave
Total.
Marcus.
UCL.
Right now, your team.
UCLA Bruins.
That was so
Dave.
weak. So bad, Dave.
Glad they lost this weekend.
I heard that the coach of UCLA at the time laughed as he said we're not showing up.
Okay, now it makes sense because now he's at Ohio State as an offensive coordinator. So
Is it any wonder I rooted for Indiana?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Chris. Utah State 5-point favorites over the Aztecs on Saturday. We already talked about it. Aztecs lose 41-20. We all went Aztecs. And then the final one, the Green Bay Packers minus 5.5 over the 49ers. Not even close. Chris and I went Niners. Pack 38-10.
I showed some faith in Kyle Shanahan.
I showed none.
Yeah. You were smarter than we were.
Yes,
On
you
that one.
were.
On that one.
My
Yes.
heart was talking on Friday.
Here's what we got tonight. Baltimore -3 at the Chargers. Go, Chargers, go.
Go, Chargers.
I'll start. I'm going to take the... I want to pick the Chargers here. But Baltimore can't afford to lose this one. I would say Baltimore -3. Tony.
There was a time where even if I felt like Baltimore would win, I would have picked the Chargers anyway. That time is no longer. Give me the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens. Scrape. Contrarian.
I want to see Saquon get the MVP, so a loss helps him in that.
Well, you're rooting against a lot of things tonight because of your
Yeah.
fantasy game. You basically need a scoreless tie tonight so you
Basically.
can win, yeah.
I'm going to go Ravens.
Ravens. How about 51 points, Tony? Over, under. Remember, there was 31 points scored in the last 3 minutes of the Cowboy game. That's unbelievable.
Those are 2 bad offenses, too, for the ball, or at least Dallas is.
Yeah.
I'll go over.
Over. Scraby, you need under.
The Chargers defense is so sneaky good. They do not give up points. I'm going to say under.
Yeah, they're good, but the Ravens' defense is not good.
Not good.
Hasn't
Worst pass
been.
defense in the league.
In the league. I'm going to say over. Who gets more rushing yards? This is an interesting one, I think. Lamar Jackson or J.K. Dobbins. They both have the same total, 46.5. So who's going to rush for more? And it is...
me.
Scrappy, yes. Who do you like here?
Who's going to rush for more?
Lamar or Dobbins?
I'm going to say Dobbins.
Dobbins? I'm going to go with Dobbins, but I'm scared because I know Lamar can just break a couple runs off and win this. But I'm going to bank on the fact that Dobbins is geeked up against his former team. Tony, who do you like here? Probably
Dobbins.
Jackson. Oh, no, Dobbins,
Yeah.
you say. Okay, all three.
I have a bet from the chat. Lamar to Mark Andrews, anytime rush or pass touchdown has a nice payout, Jacob is telling us.
Wait, a rush touchdown?
Like,
Lamar, what, he hands off to Mark Andrews?
Yeah, like a sweep, or it's basically just to say anytime touchdown.
To Mark Andrews.
Just say anytime touchdown.
But it has to come from Lamar.
Anytime touchdown from Lamar.
Sure. Do you get no?
Okay, I need honestly, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
The ball has to go from Lamar to Mark Andrews. Like, it can't be a pitch to Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers throws it to Mark Andrews.
Really?
It has to be Lamar handing it off or passing it. This is what I'm seeing from the chat. So, has a nice pair.
How about if Lamar? How about
actual bet?
how about if Lamar throws it and it gets tipped in the air and Mark Andrews catches it? Do you win?
It last left Lamar's hand on the offense, so yes, you win.
Clemson
Chris doesn't like this
No,
one.
I don't like that one. Clemson -2.5 men's basketball against the University of San Francisco.
Oh gosh, wow!
Now the
-2.5?
Dons played Memphis pretty tough,
They
and
did.
then Memphis just beat UConn today.
That's true.
So I'll take USF based on that.
Wow,
Tony.
Clemson. I won't be fooled by that last one.
Showing no love for Scraby here.
Go Dons.
Dons. UConn women. Did we congratulate Gino Ariema at all last week? We didn't get into that too much.
I think we did.
I think we mentioned the fact that they brought a goat out onto the court.
We mentioned the goat, but we didn't mention him, though.
I mean, this guy, come on. South Carolina, by the way, lost to UCLA in women's yesterday, snapped their 43-game win streak. Shows you how good UConn's 111 was. 111.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Tonight, UConn is 37.5 points over Oregon State. Tony Gwynn Jr.
-37.5.
Oregon State soon to be in the Pac-12.
I'm going to take UConn.
Scraby.
I will take UConn.
I will take UConn. We've seen some really big blowouts on the women's side. Celtics -10.5. Home to the Clippers. Scraby.
To the Clippers, I'm going to say Celtics.
I'm going to say the Clippers. I hate the Celtics. Even more than the Clippers.
Two teams I cannot.
Yeah, that's right. This is a tough one for you. This is...
my Celtic hate runs deeper.
Do you want beet juice or V8? You are really stuck here.
I guess give me the beet juice if that's the Clippers.
All right, Clippers. Jokic versus Brunson tonight. Denver Knicks. Who scores more points? Game is in Denver. If that means anything. To me, Jokic looked pretty good the other night. I'm sorry to bring up the Laker game, but you look good. I'll take Jokic. Brunson's sharing a little more this year with Cat. So I'll go Jokic over Brunson. Tony? Points.
Jokic.
Jokic. Scraby?
I'll go Brunson.
Brunson, one last one. Steph Curry.
Oh my gosh.
Steph Curry. Steph Curry for the Warriors. I want to see who he's playing, so I apologize for looking again. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets. Steph, 4.5 threes. Scraby.
You know, we've done something like this before, and I said over, and I'm going to say over again.
Over.
Even though he went under last time.
I'm going to say under. 4.5's a lot. Seems like he does it all the time, but he really doesn't.
Who they got?
They're playing the Nets.
Oh, yeah, give me over. I think he's going for 6 of them boys today.
6 of them tonight, says Tony Gwynn Jr. That's the Daily Gambit. Gambito. All right, very good. Tony?
Let's get to break. On
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. It's coming up next.
On the other side, yeah, Aztecs women basketball player Kim Villalobos will join us. We'll talk a little bit about the season and the terrific start this squad is off to begin the season. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. Here is some traffic.
From the 97 Results Fan Traffic.
All right, here we go at 3:22. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Scraby. Going to talk about this Aztec women's basketball team, which is off to a 6-0 start. But before, I want to just give a shout out, my old friend of mine, Brian Quinn. You guys remember Brian Quinn at all from the old?
We had him on the show one time.
Soccer Gaze.
Yeah.
He led USD men's soccer team into the Sweet 16.
I saw that
yesterday. They won at Duke. Had to fly all the way to North Carolina to score a goal, and they beat Duke 1-0. And next up, USD will host Vermont. The game will actually be here in San Diego, and I think it's this coming Saturday. I want to say Saturday. But congrats to Brian Quinn's USD men's soccer team reaching the Sweet 16. All right. Aztec women's basketball team, Stacey Terry Hudson and her club off to a 6-0 start for the first time, guys, in 30-plus years. And joining us, one of the stars of that team, Kim Villalobos, joins us here. Hello, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
How are you?
Hey, guys.
You guys go
Good.
You guys go 6-0, and you immediately get rewarded with a trip to Cancun. Not
Yes.
bad.
Not bad at all. I'm so excited.
You are excited. 3 games coming up this week in Cancun, Mexico. Talk a little bit about this team, though, and what you've seen that you like so far, and what has allowed you guys to get off to a 6-0 start.
Yeah, the team has been great. Even from the beginning, the first couple of practices we had, I think I could notice it was, different. Everybody has been bought in, not, just after the first win, after momentum. It's great momentum. But I think even from the first game, we have that goal of winning the championship in mind, especially after last season. This team's just fun. Everyone's great. Everyone gets along. It's been a great start to the season, and it's only preseason. So, we're just super excited to keep going.
Kim, you mentioned it a little bit. Let's go back to last year. You guys got to the end of the season. You guys got hot and had a good run there at the end. Have you seen any of the carryover from last year to this year? Because you guys are scoring in a similar way. Everybody's kind of sharing the ball. How much carryover have you seen from last year to this year?
Yeah, a lot of carryover, actually. Like you said, we're sharing the ball. Everybody's scoring, or it's somebody's night, and then it's somebody else's night the next day. I think we saw that later in the tournament last year. It was different people, whether it was somebody off the bench or a starter who was scoring, but it was somebody different leading us all the time. And, I just think we've also stepped it up on our defense. And that's why we've been able to kind of carry over 6-0 starting for the season compared to last year for sure.
Aztecs will take on Wisconsin on Thursday, the first of their 3 games in Cancun. Kim Villalobos is with us. 6-0 start, something to be pretty happy about. But as you said, it's early. There's a lot of basketball left, and eventually I know you guys want to get to a championship in the Mountain West, something you missed by 1 game last year. But I've noticed being around you guys are already talking about it. It's on, it's there. Like your coach, Stacey Terry Hudson, she talks about we have to do things right because we want to win a championship at the end. I think that's important, don't you, to be already pointing towards that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's easy, of course, to say things when you're winning, but like I said before the season started, we were already talking about a championship, so I think just carrying over the momentum from last year, realizing we were super, super close, but we didn't win that last game, and just remembering that. And, we talk about it all the time.
Kim Villalobos joins us here on Gwynn and Chris, 5th-year senior forward for the Aztecs. And Kim, you've had the luxury of being able to be here the entire time. And that's, in today's day and age, that doesn't always happen. You see so many young men and women entering the transfer portal. Just talk a little bit about, you came in on that COVID year, which was a tough year for everyone. Just talk about how you've seen this program really seem like it's starting to turn the corner from that freshman year, your first year here to this year here now.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, turned the corner. It's a huge difference from when I came. I think the culture just changed a lot in so many different ways. I've been here 5 years, like you've said. Well, this is my 5th year, and I've seen that, carry over every day. And there's a lot of aspects to why I didn't leave. Of course, the coaching staff, San Diego as a school, my family, just being able to just see it through, see how I could see how great I think the team could be and how we can win that championship. And I think this year, as my last year, of course, I want to win, but also because I've been here for so long, it's just that more, I guess, important to me, I'd say.
Kim, the other thing that I've noticed with being with you guys and around this team is the excitement at Viejas Arena. I mean, obviously, now you started it, like Tony said, in the COVID year. There was nobody in the arena. But the fans following you guys and being excited about this team, I think you guys feel that when you're playing at home. And, women's basketball just in general, maybe Caitlin Clark and all of that stuff. But it seems like it's all trickled down to you guys at the college level. I'm seeing more excitement than ever.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the women's game has taken it to another level these past couple of years, and it's going to keep trending. And especially, us that we're having a great season, the fans sticking around with us. From my freshman year to now, I'm seeing fans that I saw 4 years ago still supporting us at every game, which means so much to us. And it just shows how much, support we do have, whether the gym isn't for it, it is. It helps so much. It really does.
Kim, last one for me. You guys obviously have a boatload of games ahead of you. Where do you want to see this team make some strides of improvement as you guys get going deeper into the season?
Yeah, definitely our communication on the court. I think we can always be better there. Continuing to step it up a level on defense. I think we're off to a great start right now, but to maintain that, definitely defense. And the shots will fall, whether it's someone's night or not. It'll be somebody else's. But I definitely think talking on the floor and defense will definitely set us apart.
Last thing, can you just talk about we have Coach on, often, and we really love having her on. But I just get the feeling that she's created something there. Bit of a, the family, whatever you want to call it. As Tony said, so many people transfer nowadays. Guess what? This team didn't have one player transfer from last year. Everybody stayed around, and you've added to it.
Yeah. I
think your coach, Stacey Terry Hudson, probably gets a lot of the credit for getting this all together, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. She has created this. She has made for myself, this is my 5th year now, for other teammates, has made this a home for us. And, there's some people that are far from home. I'm a little nearby, but it still feels like a second home here whenever we're on campus, in the gym. And, yeah, I think it's just her genuineness and the staff and their ability to understand who we are as people first outside of just basketball is really important, especially now. Like you said, people transfer, but it's really hard to know whether you're going to go to, somewhere safe and genuine like San Diego State. And I think that's a huge reason why a lot of us stay, for sure.
Well, Kim, it was wonderful having you on. We'll look forward. We'll look forward to a trip to Cancun together.
All right. Yes, sounds good. I'll be
nice to me.
Cancun.
We'll see you a little later. Thanks for coming on,
Thank
Kim,
you,
and
Kim.
best of luck the rest. Keep it going.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, there she goes, Kim Villalobos from the Aztec women's basketball team. I do say this, not to overstate it, but there's such a bunch of good kids, and it is a joy to be around them. And it increases my belief in our future, Tony.
Yeah.
That there's so many good kids. These kids work their butts off. They do most of it in anonymity, basically, compared to the star players in men's basketball and football. But, they have a nice bond going there. And Kim is one of the really nice kids. So it's nice having her on. Appreciate her joining us. And we'll take a break. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. I think we have a Big Five.
Yes, we have a Big Five. I'm not sure about a
Big Five. It's headed your way.
On Tuesday's show, our Padres
If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. All right, we got a big 5 headed your way. Shall we check traffic first?
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Anybody lose a mattress? We got one in the slow lane on northbound side of the 163 past Friars Road. Also getting reports of a collision on La Jolla Parkway off-ramp northbound 5. On the North 5 coastline before Carlsbad Village Drive, an accident in the right lane. Looks like emergency crews may have the 2 right lanes blocked, helping out with that. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision on northbound 15 at the 78. Everything in the center divide. Jack in the Box is never not serving breakfast. That means you can pick up Jack's $5 big deal breakfast meal featuring a breakfast Jack, hash brown, and French toast sticks all morning, day, and night. Find one at a Jack in the Box near you. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
I don't care who you are. If you drop your mattress in the roadway, Kelly Danick is going to call you out for it.
I was thinking about this, though.
You better strap your mattress down. Kelly gonna get you.
That's what I try to tell you guys. Listen to Kelly's reports, even if you don't want the traffic, because she's pretty funny. But how would you go get? Let's say you're driving along, you got a mattress tied down, someone it falls off the truck. Now you obviously want to get it back.
Yeah,
you can't but you can't go circle around and then drive on the freeway and stop right in the middle lane and pick it up.
No, I think you got to call the CHP and
Yeah,
have them stop for traffic.
I don't know that you can do anything about that.
I don't think you can do anything, right? You've lost it.
You just gotta keep rolling.
You just gotta go. Pretend you didn't see it.
When I was very
I don't
young,
really know
what happened to the mattress that was in my back of my car?
I didn't have no mattress.
There's no. Oh man, I was headed to the dump, but I don't need to go anymore.
No, it's gone.
When I was 19, my friend was driving on the freeway, and there was a mattress in the lane, and we were like stuck because we couldn't go left or right. So we did that whole movie thing where we just screamed "ah!" as we drove over it, and the mattress kicked up and went into the car and back. It was crazy, guys.
You were a thrill seeker one time.
I wasn't driving.
Question.
I wasn't driving.
Thrill seeker.
Number 5.
All right, the Big 5 is brought to you by Summit Subaru of El Cajon. See all the 2 ways to save right now at summitsubaru.com. I heard Braden Soprennett on Annie and Elston earlier talking about the Cathedral Catholic High School game on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Now, I didn't know any of this, but Braden laid it out. I remember in high school, when you played high school football and you made it to the CIF finals, you were going to be playing at Qualcomm, and it was all divisions, and it was like an extra cherry on top of the sundae of making the finals.
That was a big
get to
deal.
Play
Sure.
Where the Chargers play.
Sure.
And so Braden was saying the high schools actually have to pay Snapdragon to use the stadium, and it's not cheap. I don't want to quote numbers because I don't know, but it's not cheap. Just letting you know that. But without knowing the business plans or operations at Snapdragon, Chris, would you like to see high school football be able to use the stadium without having to pay an arm and a leg?
I would. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, but back in the day, as you talk about at Qualcomm, as much as we all dislike Spanos and family,
yes,
that they used to let them play that for free. They'd pick up the tab on the lighting and, you know. You gotta. I mean, it costs money because there's people that work the game and ushers and things like that. But I believe the Spanos used to pick up the tab for the high school kids back in the day.
All right.
I believe.
All right.
So I would like to see that happen again, but this is a different age. It's a different time. And I don't understand all the working machinations of exactly who owns and runs Snapdragon.
True.
They may not be in the same kind of financial position the Spanos were to pick it up. But that's, it's a lot of money. Congrats to Lincoln High, which won the championship, and congrats to the other schools who are going to be playing next week for the championship in the other divisions.
Yes.
Good on all those kids.
But you would,
I'd love to see it be free. I just don't know that it's feasible.
Tony?
Yeah, no, I think we'd all like to see them be able to hop back on those fields for free, if that indeed was the case.
I know Jerry Jones has every Friday night he has a high school football game, and all they do is pay for, like, they get to keep concessions, and Jerry Jones giving back to the community, guys.
I always said that Jerry's a wonderful guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Jerry's pockets run a little deeper than most.
That's right. This is a publicly held place as opposed to a Jerry Jones held place.
Just think, he was able to build that whole stadium, I believe, with his own money.
Like opening up his wallet. I don't even think he had to write a check.
But I see your point. Yes, I would love to see that. But as Chris said, we live in a time now where that seems very unlikely. They tax everything, kids included.
Can we stop making decisions solely based on how much money it's going to make someone?
I would just love to do that.
But we're going the wrong way.
It would be me, you, and Chris operating under that.
Let's start our own country, guys.
Yeah, my wife wouldn't do it. She wouldn't get in. My wife would say, money decision.
Lori, you were a part of the problem.
That's right.
Number 4.
Saquon Barkley has been an Eagle for one season and has already rewritten their record books. Here's how the Giants, New York Giants, actually allowed that.
I think just mulling over this, the right thing to do is let you test the market and see what your value is. I don't want to do the franchise thing or all that stuff again. I don't want to go through that. We've both been through that. You know, if you really want to be a Giant for life and you're interested in staying here and coming back, just see what your market is and then have Ed come back to us and we'll see if we can come to an agreement.
All right, I appreciate that.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Can you give me your word on that, or you're not going to give us a chance?
What do you mean?
By the way,
What do you mean?
Can you give us a word of that meant after you get your market value?
Right.
Are you gonna
tell us what it is so that
it-
we can beat it.
Right.
And Saquon said, "What do you mean?" and then called the Eagles or
Yes.
whatever. How that all
That
worked.
was Giants GM Joe Shane on the phone with
Yeah.
Saquon in the offseason. Last night against the Rams, Barkley finished with 26 carries for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 9.8 yards per carry. He added 4 catches for 47 yards to finish with a whopping 302 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
He actually broke LaShawn McCoy's franchise record for rushing yards in a game, which was 217. Now it's 255. And Deuce Staley's franchise record for yards from scrimmage in a game, which was 262, now 302. Tony, is letting Saquon walk in free agency a fireable offense for Giants GM Joe Shane?
Yes. I'm not saying that the Giants would have been a whole lot better this year, but at least they'd have Saquon not running up and down their face, in their face.
Yes.
I'll say this.
The owner of the Giants said as much to the guy in that.
He literally said,
"Right, we got all this stuff because they were on Hard Knocks."
Right.
But the owner came in and said, "God, I don't want to see him go to our division
I would
and
hate to
kill
see
us."
him go to the. I think he said the Eagles specifically.
He might even said specifically the Eagles. Yeah. I mean, it's.
I will say this. I don't know what the franchise tag number would have been, and I know how unfair it can be to the player. But if I am the GM, at the very least, we're gonna do the whole franchise tag dance again, so that I can keep you in my step. I can't let you walk and think my job is going to be secure if you go to a team that's in our division, and I gotta play you twice a year. I think that's viable. I really do.
Yeah, you're going to go down as the guy who lost Saquon. Chris, fireable offense?
And don't let him win an MVP this year, because if he was MVP, I mean, yeah, it might be a done deal for. I know it was said that the jobs are secure. Owners can change their minds on a
The
whim.
vote of confidence is not actually a vote of confidence.
Barkley rushed for 176 and a touchdown his first game against the Giants.
And they still got one more?
He gets one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said this earlier. I think it's a fireable offense, even if we didn't all hear it.
Yeah.
But the fact that everybody heard the guy do this, yeah,
And
it's almost embarrassing.
For those that actually watched the Hard Knocks, if you would have watched his, it was almost like, oh, this is just a solid GM move right here.
Yeah.
Wasn't the other thing he
This
said?
guy thinks his market value is going to be crazy high.
Yeah.
You know what? Going out there.
He was playing against the
luck.
the running back market being down, but the Eagles were like, "Don't care, we want Saquon."
This dude would make our offense next level.
Didn't he also tell the owner that I don't want a $40 million quarterback handing off to a $40 million running back?
Said something along those lines.
What does this guy
you know,
want on his team?
Sticking it all because he said we paid Daniel Jones. We don't need a running back.
But that's the other
basically what
fireable
he
fix,
said.
by the way.
Thank
is
you.
that you decided to pay Daniel Jones, overpaying Saquon
See,
Barkley.
that-
Yes, it came up a year earlier.
But the quarterback thing is so tough because
I
if you
don't
get
know.
rid of Daniel Jones before re-signing him, you're starting over again.
Guess
You're
what?
trying
guess
to
what
find someone
guess what
again.
you're going to do anyway a year later.
Starting over.
Okay, so
but
then I guess-
a lot of these teams are forced into signing their
I
quarterback.
don't know. At least you would have had a chance at one of these Caleb Williams. Who else was in that draft with him?
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
You had a chance to get all
Drake
these
May.
dudes.
If I was the owner, I would invite Shane, invite him over, bring him down to my my movie studio or my movie theater in my house.
If you're an owner, you definitely have one.
Yeah,
of
have a
those.
movie theater. Get him comfortable. Get him a little popcorn. Just play that scene from Hard Knocks
and say you're fired.
And then you don't even have to say you're fired. Just show him the
Just
door
look.
at that point.
Just give him the look and like, hey, get out of here.
That would be all time
Come on.
right there. Not say any words. Just play the video for him
Just
and then
let him
walk
look.
to the door and open it.
This speaks for itself.
Our boss, Adam Klug, said he bets Saquon doesn't finish as a top 3 MVP candidate, which I don't think is crazy because running backs aren't held to that standard.
He bets that he won't.
Yeah.
Well, I bet that he might.
Yeah, let's
I
put a
would
wager
at least,
on that.
I would at least bet that he
happy
might.
to take Adam's money.
Finish as a top 3.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, I understood it the first time.
He's
All
just
right, well,
warming
you
up,
guys
it
can-
seems like.
We have the record now being stated that this is on the table. You guys can negotiate your bet
My
when you
terms?
see each other. Yes, in terms of the bet. Yes,
Fair
correct.
enough.
Number 3.
Friday night after the fantastic Scraby show, I was driving home and I was listening to the show right after me.
It caught me off guard because I was like, "What show is the Fantastic Scraby Show?"
The fantastic Scraby
Oh,
show.
just the Scraby Show. I got you.
I was listening. We were talking about oarfish. Have you guys heard about oarfish?
Nope. Heard of it.
They are the creepiest looking fish, but they're washing up on an Encinitas Beach and a La Jolla Beach and Huntington Beach. And Japan folklore says that a big earthquake's coming if those guys wash up on your shore.
Yeah.
What are they called again?
Oarfish. OAR fish. So I was driving home. I was listening to the show that's right after me on Fridays, Boomer and Valenti. And Boomer Esiason said something kind of in passing at the end of the show, but it caught my attention because we were talking about this on Friday.
Somehow, some way, the Raiders are going to play themselves into the number 1 draft pick. And somehow, some way, I got to believe that Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders are going to be coach and quarterback for that franchise.
So there you go. That caught my attention. I immediately, when I got home, I pulled the audio. Tony or Chris, you're up first.
Thank you.
Do you think this would happen?
No, but I always like to leave that door open for Dion, and I think what's a better fit for Dion
than the Raiders?
Las Vegas? I mean, Dion on the Vegas Strip. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna bet and not feel great about it that Dion is going to be good on his word, and after his son leaves, he's going to stay at Colorado, because that would almost surprise me. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with that, because that's what he said.
Does anybody... Tony, you go answer first. Do you think this could happen?
No, I don't. I think I believe Dion. He's a God-fearing man, and he doesn't want to go to Sin City. They don't. They don't mix. They don't mix at all. I do believe that he is passionate about teaching young men, and I do think, in the same way, my father didn't feel that he would be as impactful at the professional level. I think there's some of that in Dion. It's not for him. I don't think it's just about X's and O's of football. I think there's a much deeper thing there. I could be wrong. Ultimately, dollar signs have always spoken very loudly. But he is well off. I don't know that that's a moving thing.
Yeah.
We'll see in time. But for now, I'm gonna take him at his word.
I think your point last week about the fact that if Dion were coaching his son in the NFL, and his son was the quarterback,
I think it would cause
would create a big issue because, man, no one in that locker room would feel safe to say anything.
Right. I think it's just
that's too dangerous.
There is just different mindsets from a college kid, even if they are getting NIL money, to getting to the pros and that whole dynamic there. It would seem to be difficult.
The only thing I mean, Shedeur needs to maybe go out in this life on his own at some point, right?
I don't think Shedeur is hooked to his dad. I think
the other way around.
I don't think he's either other way around either. I just think they've been in a position to where he's been able to coach him to this time. It wouldn't be the first kid that's in a, maybe not in particularly football, that has had their dad as a part of their coaching staff or coaching.
That's true.
To this point.
Remember Buddy Boeheim?
Yes, I do.
Syracuse, when he hit like 25 threes against the Aztecs.
Not miss.
I can't stand
he
that
could
guy.
not miss.
And then he didn't make one.
We didn't hear from him ever again.
Number 2.
We're back to the Giants, guys, because they were humiliated by the Buccaneers yesterday. And yesterday afternoon, in the post-game locker room, Giants players described the performance as soft, while some suggested their teammates aren't giving 100%. Rookie wide receiver Malik Neighbors also subtly called out the coaching staff. Here he is after the game being asked about why he did not get the ball as much as he would like.
Go out there first, second quarter, don't get the ball, start getting targets at the end. I mean, can't do nothing. Start getting the ball when it's 30-0. What you want me to do?
Why in the first half are they not looking at you?
I don't know. Talk to Dave about that. Talk to Dave.
Is he putting gum in his
No,
mouth?
he's chomping.
Yeah, that's not a good sound.
I mean, they know.
All right, so you get the gist.
It literally sounded like he was opening the pieces of gum up and like.
Oh well, he was.
Putting
he was
them
at
in
some
there.
point, yeah.
That's what it sounded
But
like.
I think he's trying to say the right things and not.
He was clearly frustrated.
He's trying to say something without going over the top, so he's chomping on that gum. So everybody's thinking that Brian Daboll lost the locker room. Tony, can he get that locker room back?
I don't know that he's lost the locker room. Daboll and Neighbors already had to talk about the rant. I just think, listen, I don't know that this is necessarily a loss to clubhouse thing, but when you're losing games consistently and bad like this, frustration, it mounts no matter what the team is. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in that locker room, so I don't know if he's lost it or not. But I don't also think that frustration after getting your brains beat in is indication that you've lost the locker room. That's just Neighbors being frustrated that it took to the second half before he started getting
What about
football.
Dexter Lawrence saying they're soft?
Dexter's already came into this week kind of hot. He didn't like the DJ release.
No, he did not.
So I imagine this didn't help that thought.
Chris, can he get the locker room back?
If he's lost it, no. But I don't necessarily think he has. I think Malik Neighbors is just speaking out of turn as a young guy. Give him a couple more years. He knows how to answer that question
I think he did
better.
fine. I honestly think he did fine.
I didn't see the video.
You think I breathed loud? That was
I didn't
really
see the video, but the image of him opening up a packs of gum and just flipping it in his mouth at the
Chris
time.
versus the fans next.
I don't know if you noticed it. You had to be thinking on your feet out there. But Scraby tried to make it seem like he had finished the Big Five when he actually hadn't.
He did try.
He tried to get to the top of the hour without a carryover. But alas, he never got to number one. Now, number one is, I think, an interesting topic. It's one that I originally brought up last week. And we will get a little deeper into that. But we
yes,
do have,
which is causing a big old controversy.
It's causing a major uproar, as I predicted it might.
Yes.
So we'll tell you about that uproar in a little bit. Before we get out of here, we have Monday Night Football coming up with the Chargers taking on the Ravens.
The Chargers.
The Chargers. Go Chargers, go. But we have Christopher's the Fans right now. Before we open that, I got some good news for Tony Gwynn Jr. He loves good news.
I do.
Phoenix Suns stars Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal both plan to return to action tomorrow against the Lakers.
I thought you said good news.
I was just going to say.
What kind of crap is that? I was genuinely looking forward to some good news.
You thought it was going to be good, huh?
And this guy is over
I'm
here
sorry.
dropping that kind of information on me.
Dropping that knowledge on you. Both Durant and Beal completed consecutive days of full practices. And already the Suns are 1-6 without those guys.
Great news.
Yeah.
Did you see that Zion is no date in sight for his return?
I knew that you saw it. That's what I knew. I knew that as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, Scrabe is somewhere.
It's because my algorithm has me getting Zion news all the time.
Apparently, he has some language in his contract that makes it so that it's, I think the word I saw was cuttable.
I didn't see that word, but that's a good word. I like it.
His contract.
They can get out of the contract.
Basically.
Because he's had so many injuries.
Yeah, no. I hope the young man figures it out. This can be one of the issues that happens when a guy doesn't have the collegiate time to learn anything about his body and what needs to be conditioned, because someone who is that athletic can afford to not do it, the way he should.
Yeah.
And he's been able to get away with it for a long time. But now, at this level, which is the highest of the high, it seems like his body is betraying him in ways that it never has. And you have to think, it may not have to do it. I think sometimes when we think conditioning, we think, can he run up and down without being tired? But some of it is, can your body handle the load that you have without getting hurt? And I think it just seems like, based on the amount of time he's missed, he's kind of still trying to figure that out. It's not necessarily about looking like you're in great shape. Can your body handle the load? And right now, it seems his body can't.
The one thing about Zion is he is the gift that keeps on giving, as far as Mr. Scraby is concerned.
Yes.
He also,
because every time Scraby has nothing to talk about, he just goes, "Oh, wait a minute, Zion's out again."
I swear
I can always go with that.
The other thing I saw was that he got this huge.
I was just about to bring it up.
Don't say it. This is. I promise you, this was my thought.
Yeah.
I saw the news. I also saw later on him have this huge back tattoo that he had done.
Huge.
And all I could think was, somehow Scraby has connected this back tattoo
to his latest injury.
To him being missing time and not being on the court for his team.
No. What I connected it to is this guy is just loving doing whatever he wants in life.
same thing. It's the same thing.
It's like, I don't care. I'm injured. I have millions of dollars. I'm going to get a back tattoo.
I just knew that's what he was going with it. Knew it.
From my get off the lawn point of view, probably not the best timing to get one while you're
or don't film it. Just
on
go
the
get
injury.
the tattoo
Right.
and no one ever
Just
knows.
do it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good.
It was a back tattoo. No one would ever see it.
I'm saying, if there was no camera in there, he could have tattooed his entire body.
Yep.
And no one would have known. But you're hurt. You ain't out there. You videoed. You put it out there for everybody to see.
Can't come to practice, but I sure can get a tattoo.
That's what people are going to say, even if it's not true.
Yeah. You have a chance to be qualified out there for a chance to win a grand prize. 2-night stay, Westgate, Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Soul of Motown, and $150 food and beverage credit. The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovations. The award-winning Soul of Motown is a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends. This is a must-see show during your next Las Vegas vacation getaway. Tickets at thewestgateresorts.com. In addition, you'll win a 4-pack of tickets to see the San Diego Seals lacrosse home opener this Sunday, Pechanga Arena against the Philadelphia Wings. Enjoy fast-paced, nonstop action in a family-friendly environment. See SealsLAX.com for tickets. I don't know, that took so long.
Philadelphia Wings.
Yeah, I think
The Big Five.
that took so long, I think the show's over. Nope, we have time?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's go.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, so you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know. Before you get into it, you'll get the first question for free today. Chris vs. the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit sdfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation. All right.
Bada boom, bada bing. Why don't you give me our first contestant there, Scrape?
Let's go to... Gotta reveal the contestant names. Let's go to Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. Happy Monday to you.
Hey there, guys. Happy Monday.
Hi, Jeff.
And I'd like to say I'm first-time player.
First-time player! All right, here we go.
Well done, Jeff.
Second question.
On to number 2.
Eric Dickerson holds the record for most rushing yards in a season. Who's second?
Ooh, good one.
I think it's still Jamal Lewis.
Good guess, I think.
Jamal Lewis, number 2.
Joe Williams.
He said what?
Williams.
He said Jamal. He said Jamal Williams?
No, he said Jamal Lewis.
He said Jamal
Oh,
Lewis.
what the heck? Either way, it's
Jamal Lewis is not correct.
No, it's not.
If it makes you feel any better, Jeff, that would have been my guess. Now I will go with... It's one I'm going to go Sean Alexander, LT. Sean Alexander.
He's going Sean Gap between the teeth Alexander.
Does he really?
Yes.
I
Huge
can't see
gap.
that.
Good for you, Jeff.
Nice work, Jeff. The answer, Mr. Adrian Peterson.
Oh, I should have thought of him.
I think he finished 4
Okay,
yards.
number 2.
4 yards short of Eric Dickerson's record, something like along those lines. All right, here we go. Question number 3. Chance to win it all, Jeff. Ooh, this is a good one right here. Which team has been in the NBA longest without winning a championship?
Phoenix Suns.
Woo!
That's not even Googleable in that amount of time.
Jeff!
Wow! That was impressive.
That was impressive. Stay right there, Jeff.
All right, Jeff. Show off. What year did the Suns come in?
I don't know, but I'm retiring early, so you won't hear from you guys ever again.
Okay.
Good and go.
Hang
Good
on,
work,
Jeff. Hang on, Jeff.
I hope you'll get the trip to Las Vegas. You're at least going to go see the Seals and the Wings this weekend. Very good.
You
Nice one.
know it's legit when Scraby is like big-eyed when they answer.
I like that
because
one.
usually he's
You
like,
get a feel.
He's usually like, oh, what did he cheat on? How did he get the answer so fast?
I do sound like
he
that,
didn't
too.
do that. He didn't do that. He was even excited and surprised by it. Nice
Because
work,
I know
Jeff.
how long it takes to Google. If I were to pull up my phone, he's on his phone. Like, how is he going to Google that? That was
You're calculating
well
all
within
of
the
that
time.
when
I mean,
you're-
when someone's
when you
like, what was the question again? What? NFL? Yes, you're typing it in, sir. I can hear it.
Note to self, don't repeat the question if you don't want to be put on that list.
That was really well done.
That was.
1968 was the answer to that question. Jeff was really good, too, because Dickerson's number 1. in the rushing. Peterson is number 2, but not as close as you thought, Tony. Dickerson still 108 yards
Oh, it was
more than
108
Peterson
yards.
had. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jamal Lewis was 3rd. So he was right there on that guess. Very good by you, Jeff. And I'm glad you decided to finally play.
I'm sure the Browns are so happy Jamal Lewis eventually retired because he was putting up 200-yard games
them
against
with
them
Baltimore.
all the
Seemed
time.
like it was like a given.
I think he set the record like at least once going up against Cleveland.
Yes, Jamal Lewis had some big games. All right, very good, Jeff. That
good.
was impressive. 1968, the Suns came in, and the Suns had a bit of a, just since we have a second, they had a bit of an interesting start to their history. The Suns came in, I believe, the same year as the Bucks. Thank you. And the prize in the draft that year was one Lou Alcindor, otherwise known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
This was back in the day when these used coin flips, wasn't
They
it?
did a coin flip, and they didn't even. This is 1967, before the team played. They didn't have any Zoom call.
So this way
There was
just
two
made it
guys,
up.
one guy in one office, one guy in another office. One guy flipped the coin, call it. The other guy said heads. It came up tails. Whatever happened, Bucks got Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Suns got a guy named Neil Walk.
Yeah. Didn't
And
turn
if
out
you-
the same. Didn't turn. I can guarantee it didn't turn out
Not
the
even. Here's the. I don't mean to throw this off. Neil Walk. The only thing I remember about him, the hairiest individual ever to play in the NBA. He had it coming out of all parts of his jersey. I'm sorry to say that. That's the only way I could describe him.
You know,
He
it's
certainly
fun-
wasn't.
that-
He certainly wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
It's a trip to
So
think
it's a
that
slow start for the Suns.
It's a trip to think that back in those times.
Yeah, can you
it
imagine?
just boiled down to. I mean, that's how the Lakers got Magic. Was a coin flip.
Yes.
Ultimately
And against the Bulls.
against the sorry.
Against the Bulls. Bulls got Scott May. But here's the quick Magic story before that. You don't have to turn back time again. This is told by Magic. The year before that, after his junior season, he wanted to come out. The team picking that year was the Kansas City Kings. They were first. They're now the Sacramento Kings. Anyway, Magic went in, met with the GM of the Kansas City Kings. The guy said, I'll give you $275,000, whatever. That was a ton of money back in those days. Magic looked at the guy, said, wow, that sounds pretty good. I think, where do I sign? Magic's dad said, hang on a second. Let me talk to you for a minute. Brought him outside. Magic said, what's up? He goes, you're not going to the Kansas City Kings. And Magic said, but Dad, that's like a ton of money. And Magic's dad said, son, you've been poor all this time. You can be poor one more year. You're going back to school. And Magic,
he went back to school.
He went back to school, and he ended up winning the national championship his senior year at Michigan State.
Wow, good job, Dad.
Good job on
got
that
him
one
to the
by
Lakers.
Dad. Yeah, his dad said, "Yeah, you've been poor all this time.
You got it. You'll be
Another
all right.
year.
You'll be all
a
right.
big deal.
You've done this."
Magic was ready though. He was like, "I'll
was.
take it, man."
He was.
So life could have been a whole lot different. The world could have been different. All right.
No doubt about it. Is this me? Am I taking
No,
it?
it is me. Good job by Jeff. Stay on there. Scrapy's going to get you in a second, and then we're going to tell you this story that is kind of getting a little big here, and I predicted it might, but the NFL is taking some criticism, well-deserved, I say.
Sean Payton's the only one happy about this whole thing.
Right, Sean. And if Sean Payton's happy about it, you understand why the rest of us aren't. More Gwynn and Chris after traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive the Oil Change.
Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby.
420.
That's what time it was. That's all I was saying.
I know.
Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. An incident, or a situation, I should say, that hit close to home. Seems to be hitting close to everybody's home.
Yes.
The Chargers and
Denver
had their game flexed.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that was the same game that my man Chris Ello and his lovely wife Lori were headed to. And now, at least as of last week, they weren't going to be going. And so are a whole bunch of other people had this messed up.
Yeah, we talked about it, Tony, at the time. I was, not kidding when I brought it up, but I mean, I was a little bit, just didn't quite get this. I mean, the NFL has always flexed the Sunday afternoon game to a Sunday night, and I don't think that's a hardship on anybody. But they've took the game scheduled for December 22nd, a Sunday, and flexed it to a Thursday night. And so, I have to work on Thursdays. You guys are kind enough to try to give me the day off, even though it's not necessarily up to you, but I appreciate you trying to push for it.
We did try to make you take the day off.
I don't know why you don't want to go. I'm still curious about this.
All right. I have a couple of other things that I have scheduled that night as well. But Sunday was wide open, and I was looking forward to going to the game. Anyway, who knows what will end up happening. But as I brought up, if you live in Denver and you bought plane tickets to come out to L.A. on a Friday,
which is a great vacation,
stay
for
the
people.
weekend, maybe go to Disneyland Saturday, go to the Charger-Bronco game Sunday, fly home after the game, and now you find out a month beforehand that the game is going to be played on Thursday, the day before you fly in. That is a problem, and there's a story in Denver over the weekend that you sent me. Yeah.
People are upset.
Quite a few people are really, really upset about this.
I don't blame them either.
Upset at the NFL, and the NFL's thing was, well, if we do it 28 days ahead of time, I don't know if you've seen, look, the NFL doesn't care, evidently, because people can't just afford to change a flight like that even 4 weeks out.
I think the NFL should have to pay for some of this stuff.
Yeah,
you know how they have to pay?
That's going to happen.
You know how they would have to pay?
I don't.
We'd have to band together.
And nobody go to the game on Thursday?
Not even no one. Just give it so that there are empty seats when they pan into the stand. But, that'll never happen.
That won't happen, right? They'll fill up Thursday.
Someone's going to buy those tickets that we say we're not going to buy, and they just replace us with whoever is going to buy those tickets.
But there are people that are going to have tickets to that game that certainly can't go.
Absolutely.
And, as I mentioned when I brought this up, we already paid $68. It's a
parking.
Fair price to park.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
Lori hasn't called yet.
They don't. They still don't know what's coming yet.
No,
those poor parking people didn't decide this either.
It's not going to matter. They're going to deal with it.
Look, the parking people will be fine if they just give us the money back. But if there's any issue about
they will.
That, they have to give this back, right?
I have this sneaky suspicion.
I do too.
There's got to be some bylaw that says if the game time changes,
you bought the parking.
But that's great, Chris. Then you can resell the parking and make like $2 off of it. Just round it up to 70 instead of 68.
Oh, an interesting thought. An interesting thought.
You can definitely resell.
Do you guys want to know what the final Big Five topic was? It has to do with this.
Well, it has to do with that.
Yeah. It's Sean Payton. The Athletic's Diana Rossini reported that he is very excited about this. She wrote in The Athletic, when the NFL reached out about flexing Denver's Week 16 game against the Chargers into Thursday Night Football, Broncos didn't hesitate. Teams can refuse the flex to TNF, but not Denver. Why? Payton knows his team inside and out and believes in Nick's ability to handle the bright lights of primetime. Some of it is also to push all his young players to get more comfortable with the big moments. Instead of shying away from the spotlight, the Broncos are leaning into it. It's all a part of Peyton's vision, end quote. Okay. My question was, are we giving Peyton too much credit?
Yes, we are.
Anything above no credit is too much for Sean Payton.
I don't know that we're giving it. If I'm being fair, he has turned a pretty bad team.
They're much better.
They're a much
There's
better
no
team this year. I don't
and
think there's
I'll
any
tell
question.
you, Nix doesn't get any of the talk. I mean, everything's on Daniels being the rookie, and Nix has done quite well for the Broncos. I must say
he has. He's been really good.
He's done a hell of a job.
So we'll see. I still I still think he's probably given far too much credit, but he has to be given.
I don't
credit
think
for
this is
turning around
his
things.
design. Like
No, not the. Oh, you're talking about
her writing.
Winger's-
Yes, like this is Peyton's vision. He didn't like get the job.
That's
thinking,
how he spun it to her.
Of course, he's a great sales guy.
I can't wait to get these guys in this environment.
Sean Payton is
This is
look
how
at-
I see them.
He's a look at me type of guy, and this is why we're not fans.
He always does this with his mouth.
He does do that.
Does what?
He puckers his lips whenever he's mad. Watch for it tonight.
He does.
Or
the visual,
whenever they play next.
The visual is hitting me.
Yeah,
pretty
he
good
goes.
today.
he does. He looks like a muskrat or something.
A muskrat, huh? Oh, we've stalled enough. We are at the end. Monday Night Football, the Harbowl. Harbowl.
Yes.
Harbowl.
Scrappy, what is that shirt for people that are looking at it all day on the chat?
He's been showing it to us like we
trying
knew
to
what it
figure
was.
it out.
Art the Clown from Terrifier wearing sunglasses. It's very great.
Nobody knows what you just said.
Oh, I actually, when I went to go pick up my lunch today from Jersey Mike's, not kidding, the two people behind the counter goes, I love that shirt.
Yeah, they both are watching.
They go, Art the Clown.
They're both are watching murder mysteries and all kinds of weird stuff like you, I'm sure.
Yep.
Monday Night Football up next. See you guys tomorrow.